evening, all. So, for those that were stuck in the lobby last night after I was scheduling the show and I said it for 8:30, published it, went away, grabbed a coffee, and then I was chatting to Brian Pinaretta on Messenger, our Boston, Massachusetts Block 9 fan, and he went, "Are you coming in tonight?" I said, "Well, no, it's tomorrow." And he's like, and sent me an image. And there was a dozen or so people sat in the lobby expecting us to be live. And this was half an hour later. So for those that are in now, apologies for that. That's my bad. But luckily Brian pointed it out to me. So good to know that you're all keen. We're here tonight. So it is a packed show tonight because we've got, of course, that goals galore and last-minute drama at the Memorial Stadium on Tuesday night to go through. A lot to discuss and digest in that. You know, Ronan Curtis's debut, man of the match, Tom Cleverley's sending off again. And then we'll also discuss Mumba obviously going off to Huddersfield, as well as previewing Peterborough, the press conference, the Argyle ladies, as we do. So lots to get in tonight. But you might notice at the bottom of the screen, we got someone new in. So I will come to Richard in a second. But just quickly, Carl, how are we doing? How's your week been?
Yeah, busy. I'm on some leave now from Hotel Derriford, so I'm looking forward to relaxing for a few days. So yeah, good to be back on here.
Yeah, good. Yeah, deserved rest as well. Andy, you feeling good?
I've been better. I've been caught up in this bomb malarkey.
Okay.
My missus dropped her car down to be serviced and MOT'd yesterday to a garage in Bath Street, where this is all cordoned off now, and she can't access it. So she's been having my car today.
So you're not a taxi driver, you just let her have your car.
But I'm all right. I'm fine, and no one's died, and no one's exploded.
No, exactly. Gavin joins us from a hotel somewhere in London this evening. Evening, Gavin.
Hello. Yeah, from the city.
Yeah.
Long day. I've just got in the door. I'm just trying to scoff some food because a croissant on the train this morning at 6:30 really hasn't cut it. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I've just had a busy day. So this is a bit all ad hoc. I've just sent you our team sheet, by the way, just to let you know.
Sure. Yeah, so when we come to that later, then I'll have to load it up. And yes, below joining us tonight, we have Richard O. Richard O has just published a new podcast called Argyle Stories, and starting off with the Dan Macaulay era that he grew up with. It is a great listen. I'm halfway through. I'll be finishing it off on my day off tomorrow. But I have to say, Richard, I think you've done a great job of telling the story and what's going on in the city, not just the club and the country at the time. And so we wanted to get Richard on and just get him to just give us, tell us a bit about yourself, Richard, of course, and what led you to producing this new series. So evening to you.
Thank you very much, Mike, and thank you for inviting me on the Block 9 podcast. As I said at the beginning, just before we came on air, I'm actually a season ticket holder in Block 9, so it's my home podcast. So very pleased to be on this evening. I've been an Argyle fan for 30 years, so I first started going when I was 11. Funnily enough, it was my mum that took me to my first match because my dad had no interest in football, and it was a pre-season match against Chelsea. This was just in the Neil Warnock era when he was manager, just before that sort of 95-96 season kicked off. And from that season, I was absolutely hooked. So it's been fascinating to go back and look at the 90s, what the 90s were for Plymouth Argyle. Absolutely chaotic decade, absolutely chaotic, both the highs and the lows, a lot of lows, a lot of crazy stuff going on, but also a lot of parallels with what we've been through over the past couple of seasons as well, because it's been a roller coaster for us since we went up to the Championship, 5-year plan, thinking about we're going to be a top of the Championship side, that's our ambition, and then reality hits in, right? We lose Shuey. In Foster comes in, suddenly the attacking football dries up. We get Wayne Rooney in, the parallels with Peter Shilton and all that going on in the 90s. There's so much to learn from that. And then, of course, we're back down in League One again. And, of course, the messages are, don't worry, we'll bounce back. And, in a way, that's what happened with Shilton, right? When Shilton gets relegated in his first season, Dan Macaulay says to us all as the fan base, he says, don't worry, we're going to double down. We're going to keep with this approach. We're doing the right thing. And by the end of the 90s, by you're back in Division 3, back in the bottom. And I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but there are certainly parallels and lessons we can learn from that period, and that's why I wanted to take a look at that 90s era with Dan McCauley in particular.
I've just seen Nick Tomlinson's PSU displays comment there. I was at the Chelsea game. Rue Gullit played, if I remember. There's something, because that was the first game. You moved to Plymouth, didn't you, from what you say in the story in 95. And then obviously you got your first game, and that was the Chelsea game. I was trying to remember myself back. Andy will definitely remember more, being the more mature gentleman on the pod. But I certainly remember us getting to that Wembley final as well in 96 and going up there and being at a mate's house. I was 16 at the time, and we were doing, a bed sheet and pitting PAFC on it. And, so I remember that. My dad was in the forces, so I didn't get to go to many games. I had a friend take me. But yeah, it was an interesting era at the time.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think a lot of us who were around, like that 96 Wembley playoff final it was just epic. As I say in the episode, like my dad had booked tickets for us, and he chose the cheapest ones in Wembley, right? So we were right in the back row of the old Wembley. We could barely see anything. We were basically on a park bench. All we had were the vibes, right? But that was it. That was the main reason for going, was for the vibe. It was a pretty boring game, as I remember, right? From Ronnie Morget scoring that classic goal. That was like one of the only highlights really in that match. But it didn't matter because all of Plymouth was up there.
Yeah, I mean, Andy, sort of give us a quick spin on what you remember of those early days under McCauley.
It's great. As Richard's touched on already, the Shilton era. I remember Shilton's team: Steve Castle, Dalton, McCall. That's just to name a few. Richard Landon came in, and we scored like 96 goals in one season. It was incredible. That it capped off with a sort of 8-1 win away at Hartlepool. It was absolutely incredible. What a season! Good memories. We didn't go up, I don't think, because I think Wigan pipped us to the post on points or something. But yeah, it was really great under especially Shields. McCauley, he took us forward. He took us as far as we could, and then he jumped ship. But yeah, good days, really good days. Probably the best days I've seen with Argyle is in sort of mid-90s.
Yeah, and obviously all the stadium extensions and all that sort of stuff, that I'm sure did his construction company good.
Construction, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but remember coming to that. So, Richard, just tell everybody where they can catch the show and give it a listen, because it's about 45 minutes, if I recall the episode. It's definitely worth a listen. So tell everybody they can get to it.
Yeah, so those who like nostalgia, or those who are just having problems getting to sleep at night, it's great for insomnia. It's on all platforms, basically all the podcast ones, so Spotify, Apple, also on YouTube, so you could get it there as well if you're not on any of the main podcast platforms. So Argyle Stories, search for that, it'll come up. And I hope you enjoy it. And it certainly brought back a lot of fond memories from my side, just being able to do that. But one thing I will say, Mike, just as a bit of a cautionary tale, if you look at the end of that period, it gets very toxic between the owner and the fan base. And one thing, that we saw for the first time really with Simon Hallett this season was we saw the fans start to really turn in a serious way. And I think the point of looking back at that 90s era one is that we as a club, so whether that's the owner, whether that's as the fans, whether that's the club as the institution that it is, we don't make those same mistakes, because you don't want to get in that toxic scenario of like banning the press and trying to control the narrative and all the rest of it. And I don't think Simon would intend to do that. But it's been quite dicey over this season, right? And I think this is where we have to sort of step up together and be one Argyle and try and find, get back onto whatever this new plan is and try and push forward so that we don't end up doing what we did in the 90s, which we basically end up back where we were at the very beginning.
100%.
No, it's funny.
Absolutely.
It's funny how things come full circle, don't they? And for the younger audience that do listen to the pod, go and have a listen, because it can give you an insight of when people like myself, Gavin, Andy, and Carl to a degree go, well, yeah, you think you've seen it bad. There's times when in history where it has been just as bad. So thanks. Carl's just posted the link in there as well. So at Argyle Stories at YouTube. Richard, we'll let you go, but what we'll do is I'm not going to hold Richard to it. He will do keep the episodes going, but it's time. These things do take a lot of time, folks. But what I said to Richard is, with each episode that he produces in the coming month or so, then we'll get Richard on to give us a bit of a rundown of his latest episode. But yeah, we want to, as a pod, support anything that people are doing Argyle related, and if we can, with the platform that we got. So get in touch. But yeah, Richard, it's been good for you to get you on and for you to tell us about your show.
Thank you very much, everyone. Lovely to.
Thanks, Richard. Thanks for coming in, mate.
Cheers, Richard.
Bye then.
Cheers, cheerio. Oh, and we now have to go and get on with a lot of the conversation for tonight. It is a busy one, but please do go and give that a listen. It is well worth it. So, where do we start? Well, I'm going to start first of all with Bali Mumba. Obviously, it's been confirmed that all the strong rumours earlier in the week that he has now gone to Huddersfield. Of course, he hasn't had the best of starts in this League One campaign. He's played a lot of matches. But he's definitely done us proud over his tenure for the Greens. PFC News Hub, that's run by Finley, who works with us on the pod as well. We will get him on at some stage. He did a great graphic there, which I thought I would share. And there he is, just saying, evening, everybody. Yes, we wish you well. Bali Mumba did put out a tweet that said, "What a journey it's been. We have shared some special memories over the years that I will never forget. It's been a privilege to wear the shirt and represent the Green Army. To the fans, I am forever grateful for welcoming me from day one and making this place a home. To all my teammates, coaches and staff who I've come across, thank you for your love and support. It's been a pleasure. I leave with nothing but respect and appreciation for this journey we've had. Wishing the club all the success. God bless." I'll come to Carl. Look, he was Young Player of the Season in the Team of the Year for that League Championship campaign, League One campaign, sorry. So just give us a bit of a, sort of your Mumba sending off.
I suppose now that he's actually physically left, it's probably hit home. It's sad that he's gone. But I think most of us are in agreement that it was probably the right time for him to move on. Clearly, he wanted to leave the club in the summer. Obviously, that move didn't really come about. And from obviously Tom's comments in the press conference today about him wanting to move on, it's obviously been in his mind all season. And that's probably why we haven't seen the best of Bali, because his head's been elsewhere. He didn't want to be here, which is fair enough. Maybe he wants to move into the bigger cities. I think his girlfriend's not overly fond of Plymouth for the nightlife and the shops, which is understandable. And he's sort of decided to move on and see if he can get a better opportunity, maybe to get promotion back to the Championship. But we haven't really seen the best of Bali, really. Let's be honest, since Shuey in that title-winning season where he was excellent. Obviously, when he came here on loan from Norwich back in the day, he was brilliant. And it was a massive bonus to sign him when we had the opportunity, along with Whitaker at the same time, for a good fee. And I think it was the right time to now sell him, and I think to get almost around about £1 million of money back for him at this time, when he hasn't been playing that great. I think it's good business, but hopefully we can reinvest that £1 million into the squad for the rest of the window or the summer window. But no, I wish him all the best. He has started the last few weeks to maybe get into games a bit better. He seems to be driving the ball up the pitch better, but it was always the final ball, the final cross. The assists and the goals just haven't been there for a good couple of years now. So I think it's best for both parties. And to be honest, I think the signing of Curtis is a massive upgrade. So I'm more than happy. But we wish him well.
Yeah, Andy, a few words for your Mumba. I'll go to you also.
Yeah, he did great for us, didn't he? That excitement when he signed for us with Whitaker in that season when we got him for £1 million. We spent £1 million on players, for goodness sake. And so he did well with good players around him. Hardy, Whitaker, we've already mentioned. He's had some great players to play alongside, and he's just lost his way a little bit since they've left. Particularly sort of Azaz as well. I think him and Azaz had a good sort of pairing, and it's a shame he's gone. But football, isn't it? I think players stay at clubs for about 3 years more, and they go off somewhere else, don't they? So I wish him all the best. He hasn't been sort of firing on all cylinders for this season so far, I think. And as Carl's already said, Curtis has already chipped in with 3 assists, and I think Bali's had 3 or 4 all season. So it's probably a wage bill that's been sort of reduced, if you like, and invest it somewhere else. Yeah, invest it in someone who wants to, get a couple of players for that, can't you? Really,
Yeah, I mean, Gavin, there was rumours and talk of him wanting to go. His mind was elsewhere and all that lot. And it is what it is. And players do move on. Sometimes, they've got to look at what's right for them at the end of the day with a short career. It'll be interesting to see if his form takes a turner, for Huddersfield for the rest of the season. But yeah, we're only going to wish him well, aren't we?
Yeah, I think the problem was that it's really hard to replicate the form of his loan spell and then his first 6 months as a signed player when he was pretty much unplayable. If you look at the goal against Huddersfield, the Ipswich goal, he had some big moments. And again, he had Azaz and Whitaker and Randall and some Hardy to play off. So he had some really good players play around him. I wouldn't say that the performance on the pitch has changed because his head's not here. I think he gives it all every week. He's just not found form. He probably needs a new formation. He probably exactly the same thing needs as Ronan Curtis. He needs a new team, a new formation, fresh eyes, fresh feel. He'll probably tear it up now with him and Mickey Miller bombing down the left of Huddersfield. That's a blast from the past. He'll do really well, I'm sure. He's a very likable human being. He's a very good footballer. He plays with a smile on his face. He's given us 3 good years. If you bought a brand new car, used it for 3 years, and then got your money back on it after 3 years, you'd be pretty happy. So I think we need to be, thinking in the same ilk. So, I wish him all the best. In terms of just a quick comparison of players, Curtis is very unfussy. So he's not 15 tricks, Cruyff turns, spin around. He'll do the simple things as quickly as possible and to the best effect. And I think we saw that when I was there on Tuesday night at Bristol Rovers. He doesn't do anything flashy. He does things to fit purpose, and 3 good assists. The corner the second time round was a very good one. The other 2, I think the last one was probably the best one, where he looked up and inch perfect pass to get ahead of ourselves to Peppel. And so I think we've got a replacement, but I wouldn't say it's a similar replacement. Will he be as effective? I think he'll probably be more effective in our current format. Is he a better player than Bali Mumba? Who knows? Small sample size.
Yeah, time will tell, Carl.
Is he better for us? Yes.
Yeah.
As we stand. Yeah. So that's the difference. I wouldn't say you can't compare an apple and a pear, and that's what they are. They play in the same broadly position on the pitch, but they're 2 very different style of player. One likes to dribble, get forward, cut inside, score goals. One clearly wants to get across as early as he can, hang at the back post and score goals inside the box. But the effectiveness, I think, of what we're going to see out of Curtis will outweigh what we were getting out of Bali Mumba in the last probably 18 months.
I think even when we went to a back 3, though, for a few games under Cleverley, he still struggled even at wing back in that formation that he was used to. So I think his head not being in the game is a large part.
It's a small sample size. Bali got flipped back into his preferred position for 6, 7, 8 games when we were in the toilet in terms of our own form. So where we played in the Shuey, there was confidence. We never looked like we were going to, if we went behind, never looked like we were going to lose. That had a magical feel about the club. We've said that 1,000 times on this pod. I just think it's the best thing. Whoever pulled Ronan out of their backside from Port Vale, whether it be King Derek or whether it be Tom or whether it be Foxy, they've done a great job. And
I think Derek's probably had a good say in that with his obviously the days.
Well, we'll hold your thoughts on Curtis because we'll come to him
in terms of Bali. I think everybody, the heart's devastated, the head is happy.
Yeah. I'm just going to come so just to sign off on that, Bali, as the Block 9 podcast, we wish you well. I did wonder if I still had my Rio Ferdinand Stay on Your Feet t-shirt. I could have just sent to you on the way, but no, it's I saw a few stud comments and everything recently as well. Bless him. But yeah, no, we wish him well. Right. I'm just going to check out some of the comments, everybody. So catch up with that. So some hellos. So yeah, I said earlier, Nick Tomlinson, PFC displays in. Good evening. All he said, I hope we are all well. Quality watch along with Mike and Harvey on Tuesday. It was good fun. And lots of goals again. We will win it. No, we won't. Yes, we will. No, we won't. Was it onside? Was it offside? We only gone and done it. Stevie Vaughan's in as well. Evening, guys. He says, Debbie Firth, good evening all. Hope you had a good week. And Debbie, I have received the hoodie, so as I'm off tomorrow, I should be able to get all that sorted for you and the mug, so that'll be good. Michael Hawkes is in on YouTube. Mike has subscribed to us. You can do that now on our YouTube channel for a small fee each month. It just helps towards what we do, so go check that out. But yes, he's in there with his YouTube tag, Michael Hawkes 1192. Alex at Argyle's in as well. Hello everyone, going for a 2-2 Saturday up the Argyle. Nicholas G also in, saying good evening gents, nice to see Pepple picked a Piper Pickle Pepper scoring. Yes. Andy Prowse as well says evening all, off to Peterborough tomorrow, so looking forward to the build up. Let us know and keep us posted on what it's like up there, Andy. Larry W. Plymouth says good evening gents, looking forward to tonight's preview. Robert Waldo as well says hi everybody. Carl Tripping dropping in as well with our account saying evening all. Morris Football Talk says bomb everybody say Peppo.
Mozza's in the house,
as he did correct himself, because he also typed out people every day Peppo. So come on. Stephen Cooper also in. Good to see you in, Steve. I think you've missed a couple of shows if I recall, but so good to see you back. He says evening guys. Nick obviously brought up the Chelsea thing when we had Matey on just now. Mark saying early 90s Shilton team was excellent with attacking football with Nugent, Dalton and Castle stands out. Dan Macaulay, what a sad man, says Stephen Cooper, only interested in buying Drake.
Yeah, he bought Drake's Island, didn't he? He actually bought Drake's Island for £250,000, something like that. So something weird like that, wasn't it? And he charged the Navy 25 grand a year, which they were getting free because the Navy have to navigate into Denport Dockyard past Drake's Island. So he bought Drake's Island for that very matter. He let the mast out to them for like 25 grand. It's just like, yeah.
It was a pub, a restaurant, hospitality of some form, but yeah, interesting times of an interesting man. Simon Fortin as well saying good evening, chaps. And then we were talking a bit about the show. I will say, just to point out, Matt, that I'll invite you. I want to on this show. Thank you very much. So don't need comments like that, please. So keep them out of the chat. We've also obviously got Finley in as Argyle News Hub as well, which is good. Matt Montgomery also saying quality statement from Mumba. It was and wouldn't expect anything else. Stephen Cooper said, Mumba, good business. Best to look at him. Best of him. He played 170 games and never forget his goal at Ipswich. No, certainly I didn't, because that's my dad's team. So all good. He was a good servant. Michael Hawkes is the Reading fan, just to clarify. But yes, he did well. And we just said, as we just said, we wish him well. Mark, please for Mumba. He will thrive now and will only get better coaching. Unhappy for a long time, understandably unsettled with all that's going on. Kami Tarasaki's back in as well. Sorry, there's a lot of comments, so I'm just going to read a few more. He says, happy for Mumba. Hope he does well at Huddersfield. And yeah, if we've got $1 million for him, I think that is a good deal in fairness. So I know there will be an amount that will go to Norwich, but we'll see. Right, I'm going to just move on because there is a lot flooding in, but please keep them flowing in the comments. So Tuesday night, yes, at the Memorial Stadium, on another cold evening, and Harvey England did join me for the watch along on Tuesday, and well, what a start. You know, we sort of, no sooner did we settle in, I couldn't get it to work on my TV through my Sky Puck thing. I was trying to hold my iPad. Wife eventually typically came in and sorted it out, but we like scored so quickly, and it was a bit like I didn't know if to react or not, because he looked offside. I'd seen it back. The defender further back to the left was playing him on. So brilliant decision by the linesman. And we were off to a cracking start, and you just thought brilliant. And then, as usual, at times we go and concede, heads drop, and then Rovers start piling the pressure on. And as you said in the WhatsApp group, Gavin, absolutely spot on. 3 warnings we had down their left-hand side of Argyle's right that Edwards was meant to be covering. And Sparks, if I recall, was the number 3 that put in some threatening balls. Also missed a chance himself. And then he eventually got the goal and sort of got the equaliser, took the lead. And it was a bit poor. Cleverley sending off, of course. We'll come on to that in a minute. Then the second half, we came out and wow, an early corner in less than, I think, 12 seconds. Goes out again, take it again from Curtis, and Galloway tucks it away. 2 goals in 2 games. And I think it's been stupid amount of minutes that he since he last scored. And then, we go and get a goal then equally. And it was just a bit like, oh, God, here we go again. A bit rough and tumble. Talai's, I forgot Talai's goal. Apologies. There's so many goals soon after that. Brilliant work. I've got the goal highlights, so we'll show them in a minute. And then obviously Bristol Rovers come back and then they get that equaliser. And then it's all of them, really, to be honest, until sort of towards the end. And a brilliant breakaway, a superb ball from Curtis into the box for Peppel, who says in his post-match he was in 2 minds if to volley it straight away, but he took the right decision to bring it down and then tucked it away for a 94th minute, I think it was, winner, and sent the travelling Green Army into delirium. So, yes, it was goals galore and last-minute drama. Anybody else listen or watch it that's on the panel tonight?
Seen the highlights. That's about it. I was at a meeting on Tuesday night, but within that meeting, I had sort of text coming through or messages coming through all the time about the score, so I knew about it. And I said to the lads at the end, because there's a couple of Argyle fans there. Oh yeah, we won the game. So yeah, good stuff. So,
I was there.
So I wasn't sure, and I was meant to ask you in the chat, but I just for some reason felt, oh, maybe you didn't go in the end. So yeah, so you did enjoy that moment right at the death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So give us from the ground, from that behind that goals tucked away in that corner. Yeah, how did you assess the game overall, Gavin?
Defensively, we were diabolical for the whole game, really, to be honest. Our fullbacks both were missing in action, I have to say. Saranola is no left back. He should have been left back at home, to use the old joke. I'll just kick the bin under the table. There was this propensity for Edwards to keep inverting when we got the ball, lose the ball, and then go, oh shit, I haven't got the pace anymore to get back. And their wing back was lightning. And yeah, me and my brother were talking through the game, and it was like, right, that's the 3rd time now we've had a narrow miss down there, their left or right. We're going to get punished in a minute, and then ta-da! I thought it was unfair on Ashby Hammond because we were obviously getting the text saying, oh, he's getting a battering on social media. Yeah. Looking at it from the TV, I can see why they said that. I think the pace of the ball with the cross was just perfect and out of his reach. It would look very silly if he dived out to try and catch it, claim it, punch it, and missed it, and then there was a tap in. But Saranola's tracking back was just dog shit. To sound like a bedwetter, it was awful. He didn't even want to try and get back goal side. And then the futile effort to try and block the cross was just, well, it was just a tap in, wasn't it? It was very, very good. Great pass, by the way, but we lost it. Every one of their goals came from, I believe, the wing-back defensive areas. When Galloway came on, we completely blocked the left-hand side, and they went, oh, well, we'll just go the other side of the game. That'll make it easy. Midfield first half was non-existent with Wotang and Wiradoo. They can't, for whatever reason, get their act together as a couple. I don't know why. It takes Daddy Rolls to come on to fix that problem, which he did convincingly.
Daddy rules.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking as he came on, actually. So that was good. I thought Caleb Watts looked lively-ish in his 60 minutes. And Pepper I thought was brilliant when he came on. He was a standout player for me. I thought he did really well. Our debutant with 3 assists. did some nice stuff out of possession, but I wouldn't have said he was a 9.4.
I'll show the scores in a minute.
But hey, you know what it is. You know, get 3 assists on your debut, you're an instant cult hero, aren't you? As simple as that. So, and the little sort of tender kiss that he gave Tolly at the end when they were celebrating was a nice touch. So all in all, I think it was like relief. 94th minute. I didn't think we were going to win the penalties. I'll be honest. I had no faith in us converting 5 spot kicks. So great finish to the game. But we've got to shore ourselves up, or we're going to get an absolute walloping on Saturday if we defend.
But that would have been due to our finishing at penalties, or Ashby Hammond diving the wrong way each time.
No, I just momentum and the whole. I just had no conviction in our ability to win a spot kick competition, really. But I have to say, Peppel took his goal brilliantly, but he did a lot of good stuff before that.
Agree.
Up, really strong up top. He must have been benching, you know, my body weight, which is not insignificant, to build up, because he's really strong and powerful now up top. He's sort of Ennis-esque, which is really good.
With the height.
With the height, his pace was good. His mentality is my ball. I'm getting there, a bit like Tolly. And what I saw sort of live at the ground level was Tolly's turn of speed to close down or to get is amazing. He glides. He is amazing. But yeah, I was very happy with the performance. There was a lot of quality opportunities to start investing more and more into Hypnos as the game went on, as you can probably imagine. There was a lot, you know, bearing in mind before the game, you might not have seen this or not, but TC's name was shouted out by the away fans, which I think brought a little tear to his eye. So he was clappity clap and, you know, thumbs up and all that as he walked across the pitch to the dugout. And then we're 2-1 down at half time and the boos ring out. I was getting a bovril when that whole bother him got sent off, so I didn't even see that, I must say.
Still not 100% sure what it was, unless he mentioned it in the press.
Well, we'll come to that later. Right, ref watch. Right. I could be here till tomorrow morning, but I won't. Categorical dog shit. Right, the worst referee I've seen all year, and we won the game. Right, awful. But yeah, so and they were calling his name, and then he gets sent off. He gets absolute pelters. It is what it is. But look, when you're in a cup game, all you got to do is score one more than them. Right, bollocks to the performance, and we did that, and we did it well, and we won the game, and we're through to the next round. That is all that counts. But yeah, if we defend like that for the rest of the season, we're going to have some severe back problems for our goalkeepers picking them out the net. That's what
I think.
I remember saying on the live on Thursday night that we should have dropped Joe Edwards for that game and kept him for Peterborough, because I think he'd be more beneficial for the Peterborough game than he would for like some Vertu Trophy game. Should have brought some of the youngsters in. But
what I'll do, I'll come on to Edwards in a minute. I'm going to show the goals because you'll see obviously Curtis's involvement in that, but the brilliant goal for Talais and Caleb Watts does superb in just holding up the play to allow that to happen. So the goals I've got a care of Argyle TV from their YouTube channel. So let me just run that because
it was picked up by Southwood in the Rovers goal. He instigates a pass out, but it doesn't go very far because Lockyer lost it. To lie into the area, lets the ball sit, tees it up for Amici, and then Watts puts it in.
So it's this defender at the back here that plays Watts on for that goal.
And it's a goal. I looked across to the assistant.
Was that a pass
from
so
much space.
Really bad shot?
I wondered if he was offside.
A really bad
no
shot.
Flag. Not quite sure how much that was down to good defending. It's just the way it bounced. But
Rovers
do come forward. It's a good area for Caven to find on the left-hand side. Gets it across the centre. It's the equaliser. Jack Ford scores.
They don't rerun the goals. I'm going to run it back. There's 2 things I said on the night with Harvey on
rewind the VT.
Say again?
I said rewind the VT.
Yeah, rewind the VT. Let me bring Gavin back. And we are having some issues, I think, with...
Gremlins tonight, aren't we?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'll have to get some of my money back from Restream. There we go. Got Gavin back. So let me just take it back a bit more. So this Sparks up the top here was the threat all night. And he already fired 3 warnings going down this channel. So you can see, I think that's Edwards, is it? Trying to come across to him. The pass here is...
defending is just the way it bounced. But Rovers do come forward. It's a good area for Caven to find...
Oh, I've got someone behind me. Oh, never mind.
So this is so my issue with Hammond on this is maybe he's caught in two minds. For me, he should dive out to his left, low down, and collect it into his body. That's what I would do when I used to playing goal badly. But he sort of, and then I think he's in two minds to do that, and then go, no, I'll clear it, and then gets his almost feet stuck, and you'll see it.
Gets it across the centre as the equaliser. Jack Ford scores.
I just think it's a piece of pass.
Came out to virtually nothing. And the break is on. Lots of space here for Conte. Got players either side. Chooses his left. Caven onto his right foot. Plenty of space. Goal.
So this is that Boateng there, just saying.
No, it's a Michi. It's a Michi, and it's shocking. He literally just runs straight past him. Let me run it back. It gives him all the time in the world to. Let me go back a bit further.
Look how deep Sarnola is there.
Chooses his left.
No,
Caven onto his right foot. Plenty of space. Goal.
That's a good striking hit with Venom.
The guy in front of the guy who scored there was Boateng, surely.
Yeah, but he was nowhere near the ball. He was 5 yards off. Amici kind of runs round him.
Yeah, he runs past him going, oh, hang on, I forgot to stop. But yeah, I mean, it was just dreadful for Amici and Edwards trying to cover that side all game. And then obviously this is the corner.
Curtis again, a bit higher this time, into the box, and it's in! Brendan Galloway!
Literally a tap in from 3 yards, isn't it?
Yeah, and what was good is, I mean, the first corner just before this, because this was so quick after the second half, is Mitchell tries to go to the near post. Curtis tries to find him, but it gets cleared by the defender in front of him, which then leads to the second corner. And Curtis's another trait of his that was so impressive to see last night is his crosses and his corners were superb. When you consider we've missed out on so much of that with Coronella.
With his first touch of the game,
1-0 away.
Boateng clears.
The tenacity here. And
Talai, great touch.
Talai wins it.
As well. He's wriggled past a couple.
Hold it up.
Holds the ball up. Did the right thing, Caleb Watts, although it has allowed Rovers to get back in numbers. Curtis, low cross, Talai, it's in!
I'll go back and show that one again as well. Watts just does so. Talai wins it, and this is what hopefully we'll see. More of is the sort of link up play when the ball gets to Talai, holding it up. Curtis and Watts. Curtis making the run down the left. Watts
down, and he's got it to Watts as well. He's wriggled past a couple.
There's nothing else going on.
Holds the ball up. Did the right thing, Caleb Watts, although it has allowed Rovers to get back in numbers. Curtis, low cross, Talai, it's in!
Not the greatest of finishes, but it went in.
Sparks crosses.
So this is another one. Galloway heading it in a danger area.
Absolutely flattened here. This is the most obvious foul of the whole night, and it's completely.
I said that. Yeah, and then people in the chat were like, "Oh, no, he went down too easy." So let me just go back a bit, and then you can all agree.
Heads away. He was fouled as he did so. Nothing was given though. Don't know how that's not a foul. Shot comes back in.
Is that not?
And it's in.
Let me just
allowed Caleb Watts, although it has allowed Rovers to get back in numbers. Curtis, low cross to Talai, it's in! Argyle have turned it around.
The rest give that foul, but it definitely
Sparks crosses. Galloway heads away. He was fouled as he did so. Nothing was given though. Don't know how that's not a foul. Shot comes back in. How was that not? And it's in. And it's 3-3. I have two players in a slightly odd position in terms of Amici being in a wall, and then Curtis just a little bit inside, presumably trying to block the direction of the cross. In it comes, lock your head, saved by Ashby Hammond. And then on by Patterson. Talai a bit isolated. Ronan Curtis has picked it up and got beyond his man. Rovers are tiring as Curtis gets beyond. Curtis with the cross. Bim Peppel brings it down and scores!
And yeah, he was probably given a bit of there we go to the away fans.
You think we're doing 94 minutes there, right? And Curtis has just run, like that at the end of the game. I mean, that's,
I think that's probably for Curtis. He said in his Carl, Gavin, you've both seen it. You're both subscribers to Argyle TV, and he says how frustrated he was, doesn't he, at Huddersfield? Yep. And he did join him on a free. He's had a couple of free transfers. Sorry, thank you. Yeah, so like it looks like he's got a new lease of life. One of the things I picked up on as well was before the start of the second half when they lined up, as he was on the touchline trying to jeer the players on straight away from the whistle, and obviously we went and got 2 quick goals. But just I think what's exciting about that, and obviously we've seen Mumba move on, but the fact that he can get into positions, he can play either side of the pitch, he can run forward, he likes to get stuck in, can clearly hitting a good cross, take good corners, free kicks, and find his men. And, we have lacked that, certainly from the set pieces. Rules has improved that. Sorinola, bless him, has been the one that's been left with all of that, and they haven't been great. And so I think it's really exciting to sort of see what could come of it. And as Argo83, who was late into the show, absolutely you were, as you pointed out, evening to your mate, he was saying that he's got more goals than Mumba, but Pepple. But it's, Galloway.
No, Galloway, yeah.
It's just, it's an exciting thing to see what comes of it. Don't want to get carried away because it's one game and it is, no disrespect, Bristol Rovers. But I think this could really make it an exciting time for Peterborough, Carl, on Saturday. Team that are on a good run. We are performing well away. And so, he's a good signing, isn't he?
Yeah. I think he's a top signing for this level. I don't get all the hate he originally had when we were linked with him and maybe when we signed him. I think it's a very shrewd signing at this level. For a winger, he's got really good height as well. He's got physicality. He's got strength. He's pacey. He takes players on. There's some of the balls he was whipping in. I mean, I'm only going off the highlights because I was working, so I didn't actually watch the game. But some of the balls he put in, especially the goal for Pepper, was pinpoint. And we haven't seen enough of that from Mumba this season. So I think, hence why I said it's going to be an upgrade on our attacking play. And I think he's the final piece of the jigsaw with Tolai and now Watt's back. I think if we can pick up an extra striker in the window to support Tolai, I think we're in a good place attacking wise. I think obviously a centre back's been mentioned. I think that's of high importance rather than with the forward line at the moment, because I think if we do drop down with another injury to Mitchell or Ross, God forbid, then we're really going to struggle with Pleggy being out until February. So it's a shame Curtis Nelson's gone to MK Dons today, because I thought he would have been a solid signing at this level, experience, and obviously being a former Argo player as well. But centre back is key in this window. I'm not sure if Connor Hazard's going to be moving on. By the sounds of it, he's going to stay. So interesting few weeks of the window left, but Curtis is really promising, and I can't wait to see him play on Saturday.
Carl, I think what really is exciting for not just for us as fans, and like I said, it is only one game, so just to caveat that, but for the other players to see a player create chances and assists and get into the game like he did, you got to be thinking, wow. So Watts has come back from injury. So he's thinking that, like, where he linked up with Tolai with then Curtis for the goal. It's like, I'm going to know that if I need to pass it or wait, he's going to get into there. He's not going to dawdle and go, oh, sorry, I didn't know you want to pass it to me down there. And he is going to get stuck in around the pitch. And I think that really is exciting for the rest of
it. It might just give some extra players a bit of belief to push forward, because they know he's going to put a cross in. With Mumbo, it would have been, he's probably going to beat his man but not get the cross in, so why bother kind of getting into the box? I think with his quality on the ball, I think we'll see a lot more chances created. And it's just nice to have a player that's got a bit of shithousery as well, because I think he's going to bring a lot of that to the team, which we've been lacking as well. Maybe some of the dark arts, which you probably know from his experience with Pompey. I think I'm looking forward to see what he can bring in the second half of the season.
Let's just have a quick look at, because I'm conscious of time with what we've got to go through. But just looking at the player stats from FOTMob. So Ashby Hammond, 6.8, which is probably about right. Edwards, 6.6 is probably being kind. All due respect. Edwards, it just wasn't his game. Ross, 6.3. Mitchell, 6.9. Sorinola, I don't know if we have had a less than 5, 4.9.
That was generous.
Sorry?
That was generous.
Yeah. Then Amici 8.3, Wiradoo 7.1. If I'm honest, I think Amici's score is a bit higher than it should be, but Boateng 6.7, Curtis, getting that 9.4 is probably a little bit too high, but he did make that impact in the game. Watt 7.2 and Tolai 8.1. So the biggest thing, Gavin, with watching the game, as we sort of did at different places, but the biggest thing was the midfield. We were non-existent for one reason or another, and obviously rules did come on later in the second half. And I think for Peterborough away on Saturday, we have got the team lineup, so I'll come to them in a minute. But for me, it's almost like I know Boateng seems to be head coach's feet, but I would certainly be dropping rules in there immediately for someone.
Yeah. Wiredu was the better of the two. I thought that Boateng was a bit passive. He didn't stick his foot in. I don't think he lacked a bit of energy. Whether he's tired or not, I don't know. But he wasn't his usual self. He's normally a standard 7 out of 10 every week. He doesn't do anything amazing, but he certainly doesn't let the team down. They were both very passive in the first half. They played through us through the line so many times. It was ridiculous, which has probably forced Joe in to invert to compact the midfield, and then they've got a really strong left back to left wing back to push on. So yeah, midfield definitely needs roles there. He is daddy roles most definitely. And I think at the moment Wiredu is probably the better accompaniment. I was saying to my brother on the way home with my nephew and his friend snoring in the back seat, little bastards. Anyway, yeah, take him up. They're nippers, and then they're the ones snoring. It has to be the same way. But I said to him on the way back, it'd be interesting to see whether at one stage we try and play Ibrahim and Ralls in the midfield.
I'm salvating at that.
If you had that, and then a front four of Watts, Talai, Curtis, and Amici, it could be quite an interesting prospect there, because he can play in that deeper role. He's very combative. He wins the ball. He can drive up. He can pick a pass. He can also score. So, later in the season, I'd like to see that for at least one game to see how it works out. But yeah, the midfield was poor first half.
Yeah, no, it was. And I think, like I said just now, and I come to some of your comments in 2 seconds, what's coming back in, at times his game overall was okay, but there was bits where I was like, but he's getting back into it. But I think we know that he excited us before he got crocked with his injury. Curtis has come in and immediately had a positive impact. That can only lift, like I said, the other players. I think Amici definitely has to do better with taking players on. That's still my critique with him in there, and I'm still not, afraid to sort of still standing by seeing Finn come into that. I think the pace at where we could turn over a counter attack, and that it will be interesting against Peterborough, because they will want to come out naturally at home with that performance recently in form and get some goals, and it's going to leave them open, and so they'll be very weary, I'm sure, of the likes of Curtis.
Amici's a funny one for me. He's got the quality again. He can score goals. He can put good balls in. He doesn't seem to take on his man very often, and he's very, very slow. He's not pacey at all. I think he's a little bit overweight as well. He seems to be carrying a little bit of extra timber, and he just seems a bit. Ooh. When he does things, everything's in slow motion. It's not a bad thing. I just think if he had a bit of extra pace and a bit more ability to try and beat a man, he'd be a top player. But we're certainly a better side with him in it.
Yeah, definitely. In terms of the subs, just to pick it out, because obviously they I haven't clipped them there, but obviously, Brendan Galloway came on straight for half-time effectively. Pepper came on 59 minutes. Joe Rawls, as I said, came in later, 72. And we did see Jim Patterson come on as well on 82 minutes in the game. I will say on Peppel, I've seen there's a lot of comments. I'll come to some in a second. I felt he did all right. There was a lot of chatter in the group, and Andrew T, he is in with us tonight. Evening, Andrew. He says actually earlier, not a Peppel fan, but that touch and finish was decent. Seems to do well when he doesn't have time to engage his brain. Harvey and I did rip Andrew for all the grief he was giving Peppel in the live watch along, but all good banter. What else have we got here? Let me go down. I can't pronounce your name, Nogurag, so apologies if I got that wrong, but do you think Tom has some evolution in training? Well, everybody's pointing to since Derek Adams come in and all this and all that lot. I don't think we can disagree that Derek has just calmed him down and said, look, just go solid back four, do this, just be patient and all that. But yeah, I'm not going to sort of just say, oh, it's all because of him. But sometimes when you're not able to perform and not doing what you should be doing in any job, if you can have someone that comes in with experience just to give you some guidance and direction, at times we've all probably been there. Kami Tarasaki also in it as well tonight. As I said before, a new keeper is needed. I hope Cleverley gets one in. If Hazard doesn't start or isn't on the bench, that'll be obvious what might be happening, but I reckon we will see him back. Yes, I called for Hammond to get back into a game. Carl as well. Most of us did. Yeah, and that first goal didn't help overall. But when you've got a defence that was poor, putting it politely, it doesn't give the keeper confidence. So it didn't help him really in that game either. We need to get behind Peppel. He is getting there. A bit like Aseni. Aseni wasn't doing great, then came in when he had to, when Talai was out for those 3 games, and put in some solid performances. So they are getting better and better. As Matt Montgomery says, it's great to see Peppel building into his role up top. We saw it with Aseni, exactly that, before the injury. What's looking positive is the forward line is progressing. Defo need a centre-back. Mackenzie was back in training, as Kami Tarasaki has pointed out as well. Does this mean he's going to get his first start? I think it's Mansfield is mentioned in the presser. We'll come to those comments in a minute. Dad the Jana, evening to you. We have more than one threat, so we're not so easy to shut down anymore. No, so teams will naturally be a bit more wearier than they would have been before. Do you think Hazard will play Saturday? I just touched upon that. Stephen Cooper. Evening to VW Coco as well, who says, evening, everyone. When your left and right back bomb too far forward, constantly losing the ball, you're giving the midfield no chance. The ball's lost before it even gets there. Yeah, Edwards was desperately trying to be Talai's new strike partner on Tuesday night in that first half, and was probably and clearly told to hold position for that second half. What else have we got here? Let me scroll down. Green Gruffalo, evening to you. When Matty lost the ball for the second goal, Joe was making a run into the box. TC needs to think hard about Joe having his free role. Yes, he was actually. That was one of the times he was pretty much in line with Talai on the 18-yard line. Before that, let's say dispossession from Sorinola leading to that goal. Michael Hawke saying it's looking good for Argyle, but not too good, laughing out loud, as obviously Reading are still enjoying a good run of form. So Mark saying as well at the top there, you can see on screen, what can be done with Sorinola? He is messy and not good enough in this improving team. Rarely picks a player out with crosses that are just weak and aimless. I think, Andy, I'll come to you, bring you back in. It's clear that we've struggled with someone that can hit balls into the box, and it has been left with him to do a lot of the set pieces. And obviously, they've generally not beaten the first man in most cases and amounted to nothing. So he is going to be under pressure, but competition for places now is what is going to add that pressure to him, isn't it? He's got to deliver when he gets a chance.
He was at his best early on in the season, wasn't he? When he was running that players, and actually we thought, oh crumbs, what a great player we got here. And he's suddenly, since his injury, he's just been off the boil, isn't he? Totally. So yeah, set pieces and stuff. He's going to have to work extra hard on that. And as you say, competition for spaces now. I think Curtis is going to be sort of chomping at the bit to sort of make him feel a little bit uncomfortable there as well. So yeah.
Yeah. So you stopped before. I was just sending a message.
That's all right. I can carry on if you like.
Well, look. I mean, Gavin, what are you thinking with Sorinola? Give us a few thoughts on him.
Ain't good enough.
Yeah.
He's inconsistent, which is really the biggest frustration. Really, he's had some really good games. He's put some good crosses in. He's been energetic. He's bombed up and down. My brother's chat with me on the way home was he's much better at right back than he's a left back. It's because he hasn't got a left foot, which would make him hop a lot. I think actually just thinking about that. But I don't think he's good enough to play right back. Don't think he's good enough to play. Definitely not good enough to play left back. He's played right midfield. That's now covered. I don't see him in the squad on the match day.
Yeah. Well, look, as long as we stay free of injuries, obviously we got Pleggy still out, but Galloway seems to have, picked up some form there, and also with Galloway, the defenders can sort of take that risk of getting into the box when someone like Curtis has got the ball, or even Rules, even as we know, because you're going to trust that they will probably find you, and that helps as well. When you're not going forward and thinking, I just wasted all that time sprinting there, and now I've got to peg it back because we're going to go and get breached on the counter. So bless him, Sorinola. It just that those balls into the box are just not being there.
His defensive mindset is absolutely not with it. That first goal on Tuesday night just epitomises it. If you're defensively minded, you bust a ball to get goal side.
Yeah.
And he's like jockeying back, sees him go past him, oh, and then by then it's all far too late. He wasn't even scanning as he was running, which is a basic. It has to be Galloway and Such at fullbacks. It just has to be. At the minute, we need defensive-minded, fit, agile players, and you've then got height across the back four as well, which has been we've been craving. So, yeah, unfortunately, I think he's run his race.
Is he out of contract in the summer or not?
Such could be on his way back to Hungary. Is that right? Still, is that gone on or not?
It's all gone quiet at the moment, Andy. To be fair on that, Carl, what were you going to say? Sorry,
Carl.
About his contract, if it runs out in the summer, I don't think it does. Does it? I think Hazard's does, Rawls obviously does, Edwards does. I'm not sure on Soranola's, but I certainly wouldn't be renewing his contract. Definitely not.
No, it's look. We'll move on. Bless him. Not to pick on.
I mean, I will miss him going down for cramp to waste time. That's the only thing I'd miss, to be honest.
He's another likable character, isn't he? Let's be honest.
He's a likable character. He always gives 100%. His heart's in the right place. He's just a really shit defender.
Yeah, I'm just going to... Right, let me just quickly play them. To be fair, both the post-matches is about Peppel, even with Nant, so I'll play it now.
Yeah, brilliant. Bim's deserved it. He's worked hard. He's kept his head down, scored a great goal and completed a good performance, really. Obviously, the first half we were a bit disappointed with it, but we dug in. Great start to the second half. And, yeah, we're through. So, job accomplished.
Not much else to say. And then Peppel himself.
Bim, that was some game. End-to-ends, goals all over the place. But crucially, when it mattered in injury time, you popped up with a winner. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I missed one before. But, I've been working on, short memory, missed a chance. And, focus on the next one, and it came, and I was in two minds when Ronan crossed it, went to hit it first time or, take a touch. And that's another thing, you work on just composure and decide to take the touch, and it kind of sat for me and hit it, and thankfully it went in, thank God. So yeah, it was an enjoyable moment. Just.
Oh, yeah, that's... Peppel, I didn't cut him off, but that is all he said. Yeah, and obviously he's clearly wanted to, get out his frustrations with maybe some of his criticism at the end. But yes, it's good that we're seeing the likes we just touched upon, Aseni and Peppel, coming to sort of a bit of form there when we've needed them to. I'm just, Stephen Cooper, picking up your comment. Mike, see if you can get David Byrne on. He works for Need a Cab, and Tommy Tynan. Well, as our resident cabbie, maybe Stephen, have a few words, and then we can do a live lounge taxi style. So yeah, it'd be good to get some different players and characters and whatnot on the show, that's for sure. What have we got here? Just going to check some comments. Elliot 2, evening to you. What is your prediction? Well, we'll come to that in a second. Andrew T saying Edwards plays because of his experience, but not needed when Rawls plays, so Sorinola can go right back. Great one-on-one defender, defo not the worst we have. Well, again, it's about being in more favoured positions. Right, let me just discipline before I forget. So, after the game, I did put a post out, and I was chatting to a colleague at work, actually, so evening, Sean, and he messaged me afterwards and said, Cleverley, come on, it's like 2 reds and 5 yellows, that ain't good at all. And he's right, and I put a tweet out about it. We've at times had poor discipline in the squad with 57 yellows, I think it is, and 2 or 3 reds, Talais and Edwards I can think of off the top of my head. And yes, obviously we've manager, the head coach, Tom himself and others have talked about, we just got to, be more disciplined, think about the situation. And it caused quite an interesting response on Facebook, and rightly so, because, it's good to sort of get the fans' views. And there was a good mix in there. So thank you to all those that did do that on Facebook.
It was nice to see you get some traction on a post that you put out, though, for a change.
Carl, I just keep busy making the show work. Yeah. So yeah, Carl is better at the post most of the time. I'll give him that. But that's all easy. Anyway, no, joking. So, but it was great to see. Now, my point was, I don't see that as passion is that's all it's about, and we want to see that. Yeah, of course, I agree with that. But equally, the referee was poor. Gavin's absolutely right. And he obviously sent off the Rovers manager as well with 2 yellows straight at the end of the final whistle. But it's like, what are you saying that, and why you end up getting so many red cards and so many yellows, and you can control your passion. But I did also think about it and say to myself, and some people noted it, Gavin, I'll come to you now, but it's like when the pressure is so on him, and he needs to get results because he knows the fans could be on his case, as you alluded to at the game with what happened. I could see where it does boil things over a bit more, but it is the worst, I think, Argyle discipline record from an Argyle manager. But yeah, is it okay, or is it blown out too much? And it is just what it is. Gav, give us your thoughts.
A bit of all of that, actually. Is it okay? No, and not at all. You can't dictate for your players to have discipline, and then you've got the worst discipline record in the squad. That's the first thing. Because if I was playing for him and they sat me down and said, "Look, come on," I would just go, "Fuck off." Next, I'm not even having this conversation with you. You don't even start. So monkey see, monkey do potentially. So that's the first point. Is it blown out of proportion? Yeah, because there's still a lot of people that procure large tons of aerial and bold that are have this rhetoric over TC, and he'll never be good enough in their eyes. Tough shit. He's here. He's staying. Is my only say to that. He's got much better. The record speaks for itself now. In terms of the last 10 games, 11 games, if you include yesterday. And I think that he probably does go a little bit OTT, because I think the pendulum swings so quickly from the fan base on him. They were singing his name before kickoff, exactly, and then moaning like buggery at half time, and then at the end where he was sent off, that's why we won. I mean, it doesn't help, does it, when you've got your audience and your custom base swinging their pendulum and in opinion of you left, right and centre. So he wants to win, but also he's a massive competitor, right? And he's played most of his playing career alongside a certain Irish man who's slightly grumpy and even more competitive in Mr. Roy Keane. So his mentorship's hardly had full of calm, composed people around him. And his director of football was also, I do believe, the first ever manager to be sent off in an EFL game. So it's not as if we've got, calm, composed sort of continental managers who will sit there and, shrug their shoulders gallically and say, c'est la vie. Everybody in the club is massively passionate. He's one of them. He needs to, I think, hold referees to account, and the only way he can do that is by speaking to the fourth official. And I think sometimes he probably overdoes it. Yesterday, I think, Tuesday, I think my biggest scream was, "Ref, you're so in shit, even your family hate you." I meant it, and I still mean it. He was embarrassing. The referee was appalling. Is that any excuse to get sent off? No. So he needs to rein it back. But he's only human.
Yeah, so just to paint the picture in terms of where the incident happened, that's the thing that annoyed me. I mean, someone's put in the comments that he received 2 yellows, one for leaving his area and then for whacking the dugout. So yeah, there is that, but it's the same as slamming the ball down, isn't it, for a player getting a yellow? The Talai incident, and when we watched it back, and Harvey and I were discussing it, in fairness, I think the linesman gets it spot on. Talai, ball comes over, Talai elbow shoves into the defender. But hang on, hear me out. And then the ref blows it for a free kick to us, and then the linesman gives it the other way. Yeah. And I felt that, in fairness, the linesman got it right. But go on, Gav, what were you going to say?
I accept all that, but he's seen it in real time once in a game where
it looked like a foul
for most of the first half. It looked like Talai and the centre half were entering in some kind of exhibition WWE fixture. It's so many times hair pulling round the neck, pulling him to the floor. We got nothing. The one time Talai uses his shoulder, they blow up. So he isn't getting a fair crack of the whip, but with officials, that's a fact. Yeah. TC saw it live, like everybody else. Everybody else had the same opinion, which was you're not fit to referee, and then other of a slightly more stronger chance from the Green Army. And it was appalling. You can't just, oh, never mind, we'll change our mind. If it was a right decision, wrong decision, it's irrelevant. It's the whole fact of it's been up to that point, Talai's been thrown around like a rag doll. There's then a decision where the man in the middle makes one decision and then the linesman corrects him for whatever reason. Now, you could view that both ways. I think it's 6 and 2 3s, but he's the last man. It could be a sending off because he's the last man, and it was a foul. Or it could flip round the other way, and then all of a sudden you're losing your rag when you've gone 2-1 down for stupid goals. So I can see why he lost his rag.
Yeah, we were poor. Yeah.
We were, and he must have been frustrated at the team's performance, frustrated at probably his selection of Saranola, all stuff going through his head. And then that's just the icing on the cake of a linesman who's been pretty average and the referee's been worse all game, giving one decision and then talking about it the other way. So look, it is what it is. I think if it happens again, there needs to be a disciplinary action.
Yeah, I think this, the whole, I mean, there was even comments. Someone said to me in work on Teams, have you seen the comment about surely we can sack Cleverley now for gross misconduct? And I'm like, oh my days, people calm down. There is probably something in the contract on that. But, look, I think the pressure on him has been immense. And we were, as Gavin has alluded to earlier, we were dog shite at that stage. And, it wasn't like it was a penalty or anything like that, but we were just poor and it just all boils up. But the referee and officiating in this league we've seen so far this season has been so poor. The thing I'll end on with this point, and said to Harvey on the live, is those of you that haven't seen the clips, but I've started to see when they share them out, the ref cam from the Premier League and stuff like that. And you suddenly realize, Jesus, how tough that is with the pace of the game, the players these days, to be able to get and see the decision. When we sit up in the stands, obviously we got that great view, but there's clearly just a drop in caliber. For what reason? And with all the money in the game, you sort of think, well, where are they investing that to try and improve the officiating? And maybe we need a FOT mob scoring system for refs so they can be equally as embarrassed.
There just needs to be accountability for refereeing, because they get away with it week in, week out. If we were continually shit at our jobs, we'd be pulled in the office or disciplined. I just don't understand how they can make honking calls, sending managers left, off, right and centre, without having some kind of repercussions for them.
I know I'm going to go egg chasing now, so here we go, it's taking this long. But if you look at rugby, right, often because the referee's mic'd up, if he makes a poor decision or a wrong decision, he'll pull the captains over and say, guys, I've made a mistake there, I'm going to reverse my decision, right? The crowd can hear it, the players hear it, but he's got control of the game, irrespective, right or wrong or indifferent. The football referees don't seem to have that air of control or that air of authority. They're just they're like, it's like we've got like lots of ex-milk monitors running around in black bibs on a Saturday going, oh, you picked on me when I was little, fuck you, you're going off. It's just mental. And that's the problem. And if you look at a referee in rugby, they ooze authority, but there are respect from players. And you've got a 6'9" lock being bollocked by a 5'7" referee and going, sorry, sir, and running back to his mark. So the whole culture of the game has to change, but the referees have to get it better. And I watched a little bit last night of the Northampton against who are they playing? Northampton against Warsaw.
Who is a Northampton fan? Yeah.
And Abby was refereeing again. She was brilliant.
Yeah,
because she talks to the players. And she didn't take any shit. And there was a few, bits of, you can see sort of mild misogynistic comments about, there was a penalty that they should have got, which wasn't a penalty, and she didn't give it. But she was straight on them. No, I'm not having it. So, maybe we just need an entire officiating.
I think females get a lot more. Women. Females get a lot more respect officiating anyway, generally, don't they? So it's not a bad idea to see if we can get more females in the game refereeing games, because they seem to got their heads more switched on.
He was the worst I've seen this year, and we've had some shit. The bars are so low, you scrape your nose trying to do limbo. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. But do I blame TC? Like, you can't do that anymore. I think if he does it again, Derek and Paul Byrne have to take disciplinary action and give him a written warning.
Although to be honest, every time he's got sent off, we always play better. So in my opinion, he can keep on getting red cards because we play a lot better when he's been sent off.
It's just happenstance. That has happenstance. Yeah, he still does the training and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Look, you can read into it. It's only one game I think we've lost. Is it? We've won 3 and drawn 1. If I recall that correctly, I'm sure Stephen Vaughan will correct me in the chat.
There's just no respect at all for officials, is there? And the players don't get that same respect either. If they're it's like Gav said, if they're being pulled over the pitch, like Talai was the other week, having his hair pulled, tripped up, all the dark arts, and the refs and the officials are missing it. So what
it's in his eye line, it's just ignoring it. I think the biggest frustration for players and fans is lack of consistency.
Yeah.
Right. And if all the best referees set their stance out and they'll give an early yellow card and they'll pull the captains over and say, not on my watch, not today, but they'll also do it in the change rooms for the game. Guys, don't take the piss because I'll yellow card you and you will be playing 7-a-side. Right.
Yeah.
By the end of the game. And all of a sudden they behave.
It was like that pen we had, which the linesman gave, and the referee didn't see that the referee overruled it, or vice versa, and we got the penalty. That's good officiating. You've got to have that consistency, and we just haven't seen it this season. Because as Gav said,
they've got. I mean, obviously they've got mics, but they've got to partner up and just say it. But it is the ref cams for me just impressive to sort of. I mean, even if you go down, sometimes I go down and sit in the front with the last few minutes to go, and I always just sit there and I think, wow, you can see why some guys make it and some don't, because it's like you don't realize how hard it is when we're going, Mumba or so. How did you not find that player over there? And it's like, yeah, because I'm looking this and you're down there trying to see what else is going on.
There's room for human error, isn't there? Sorry, Gav.
The personality is the big driver here, right? If you have aura, if you have gravitas as an official in any sport, cricket, rugby, football, ice hockey, whatever, you are then respected. If you are a jumped up primary school, I was a milk monitor and I'm going to get, unfortunately they're poor excuse for human beings in terms of their own persona and how they come across, right? They're not. I saw a clip actually. It's just brought to my mind. Dorking. I don't know if I said this to you or to my brother. So the player chairman at Dorking, I can't remember his name. He's very funny. I'll sort of follow that on them on Instagram. There was a referee. They were playing Torquay. There was two players fell over each other, and one of the players grabbed his player by the nuts, right, by the balls, squeezed him, and he rolled over and blah blah blah. And the referee missed it. The next time they had him, the referee walks into the changing rooms with a cricket box and says to the Dorking manager, really sorry about last time. Here's a present. And he threw it at the player who had his bill squeezed. He opened it up and it was a boy's size cricket box. And they said, oh, great, you've even got his size right. He's got such a small knob. That's officiating. That's being, an open human being and make my mistakes, blah, blah, blah. These guys, they take themselves too seriously and they're shit at what they do. So that's where the frustration lies. If you're a human being and, he made a big mistake, this guy who grabbed the nuts, the next time it was, I'll cut it dead. There'll be no animosity pre-game. I will take all the emotion out of this by doing this little joke. And he spent probably £5 on a boys Slazenger cricket box in Sports Direct before he got to the game. It was brilliant, right? We're not that anymore, and it's gone. The game's gone with those levels of referees.
Yeah, we'll move on. But Mark making a good point as well, bringing up the old. We so need a sin bin for all of this cheating going on, and some of the deliberate pulling back of attacking players just to get a yellow. Also needs more punishment. 10 minutes maybe off the pitch may stop it. And also Matt Montgomery making a good point. If officials were mic'd up, so the decision was clarified, this would help players to understand the ref's interpretation. Yeah, it's all that, and I think FIFA are trying to sort of try all these things out. So it does, with the whole mic'd up now for the VAR, it does slow things down. But it can bring something to the game, and if you're mic'd up, a player is not going to sort of say certain expletives, let's just say, all the time. Right, so moving on as we go on to the press conference. Sorry, let's get through this because I appreciate we are an hour 14 in. So thank you all, though, for sticking with us tonight and being brilliant in the comments too. So just screen clipped it. Well, actually, Stevie Vaughan, thank you for putting them in the WhatsApp earlier. So I've clipped them out for time tonight. So on Tuesday's win, TC said, very mixed feelings. We were not at our best first half. Too many unforced errors. We changed that in the second half. And with the introduction of Peppel, we looked like the team that would win it. On Ronan Curtis, his outer possession stuff, his work rate, he brings presence. He brought exactly what we recruited him to do. A great start. Absolutely agree. On Bali Mumba, Tom Cleverley said, Bali's been a fantastic servant for the club. Excuse me. He's a great person. Sometimes a transfer works for all parties concerned. When the player shows an appetite to move his career elsewhere, we have to get what's best for us. On transfers, he says, we've selected a position we need to strengthen in. With Brendan Galloway doing so well at left back, it leaves just Mitchell and Ross in the centre. So we're short in that position. So that's quite clear where we're going there. TC on team news for Peterborough. Mackenzie is back in training today. Full session. He looked very sharp. He won't be involved this weekend. I'd say Mansfield game is the one for him. Aseni, Dale, Ibrahim are all progressing. Aseni and Dale are a couple of weeks away. Plegazuelo should be back for the start of February. TC on Peterborough, he says it's really good. It's a really exciting game. It's two teams that are in good form. We're excited about this challenge. We know what's ahead of us. We have to be at our best, but we're excited and looking forward to it. There is, because there's quite a few, I'll say a few images, a couple more. On the red card, he says, it's something I have to hold my hands up and say it's not good enough. I demand discipline, which is what we were just talking about, from my players and staff, but I haven't shown it myself. It comes from a good place. I want the club to do well as it can and to protect the players. I really want us to win. I just need to rein it in a bit. Don't forget, obviously, being a United player, you didn't get into the United squad by being not polite on the pitch. So someone asked earlier, how many reds did he get as a player? I'm sure he picked up a few at United. And then we've got Caleb Watts post-match as well. On injury, he says, it's always difficult to miss matches. I took it on the chin and got on with the rehab, and now I am in a good place to attack the rest of the season. On goals this season, he says, I think that with the Vertu win and to try and get in the playoffs, those are my goals. On his assist after returning at Stevenage, it was a goal for the team, so I was pleased. I should be doing more of that for the team. I was pleased, but it's nothing outside of expectation of what I should be doing for us. So, yeah, like that honest and candid remark there. On Peterborough, he says they are a team that passes the ball well. It will be a tough place to go, but it is a game we should be winning. Just read some of the comments.
Can I just jump in quickly?
Yeah, go on, Carl.
Cleverley only got sent off once for Man United.
Oh, wow, okay. But how many yellows?
Two reds in his career, one in the Championship as well. I'm guessing that was for Watford, and 43 yellows.
Yeah, so it's decent.
So it's not that bad, really. But then again, he was out injured quite frequently as well, wasn't he? He had massive injuries down his career. So, yeah, only two reds. That surprises me.
But he is obviously used to that whole situation, isn't he, from his time there? So, but yeah, he, at least look, you've heard what he's had to say from his comments in the presser there. What we got? Stevie Vaughan saying, "What's believe Argyle can get in the playoffs?" Lock 9 saying Curtis played in the same team as Talai before. Yep, so good players to know how each other plays. Matt Montgomery saying TC needs an agreed safe word with Nance when his temper boils. There is that point where the other coaches probably just need to drag him away from the situation nicely. Andrew T saying contradicted himself, needs a centre-back as Galloway playing left-back, but Mackenzie back soon. We still don't really know what to expect from Mackenzie yet, and he's going to take some minutes to get back into it as well. Mark saying TC holds his hands up. Perhaps he should pass that message on to the keepers. Stephen Cooper saying Curtis, great bargain from Poundland, great player. I actually thought these statements from TC were clear, honest, and show humility for Mumba. He deserves a lot of credit for that. And Ringo, who I also pronounced Nogarag earlier, is from Portugal. He said to us earlier, I forgot to point that out. I think he's left now. We also don't have Brian from Boston in tonight. but I did have a little chat with him last night, so he's doing good. Right, so the Peterborough game itself. I haven't got any stats other than really they've won 3, drawn 1, and lost 1 in their last 5 games. They are on a run of form. I'm trying to just check where they are in the table. They are 10th on 35 points. Yeah, like I said, I think this could be an exciting one, especially because of what Curtis seemed to bring to the table on Tuesday night. Andy, what are you thinking score-wise and what you're looking forward to on Peterborough on Saturday?
I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Argyle, because I think our away form is, what was it, one of the last 5 games away from home? I think we have, haven't we? Or we've had 5 away wins for a start away from home, which is more than we had under Schumacher. And anyway, yeah, I think we're going to win 2-1, and Tolly and Curtis are going to score.
Yeah, good. I'm just trying to scroll back. So, Carl, I'll come to you because Stevie Vaughan, I think, did put it in. It's 5 or 6 games where we've not lost one, but obviously we drew the Stevenage one. So, Carl, yeah, what are your... well, actually, let me bring up your lineup because that's when we normally do this, don't we? So let me scroll down. Where is it? There we go, Carl. And I need to load Gavin's up afterwards, but ignore the caption there. But take us through what you're expecting then on Saturday, Carl.
Well, again, 4-4-2. I think we're used to seeing that kind of formation now. I think that suits us best. I think the back 3 of Ross, Mitchell, and Galloway pick themselves at the moment. I think it's time to give Edwards a bit of a rest and give Such another shot at right back. I just think, yeah, it'd be a miss Edwards' experience, but I think in a lot of recent games he's showing like his legs are starting to slow up and they're starting to go. I think if he concentrated more on the defensive work than pushing forward too much and then leaving us exposed, and he hasn't got the pace or the energy to get back like he used to 2 years ago, then it's fair enough. But I think giving Such another shot at right back, and I think the long throws could be dangerous away from home as well. We seem to be better at set pieces these days, so I'll bring Such in for Edwards. I would like to see Wiredu above Boateng with rules. I think Wiredu midfield has impressed me since he's had a few opportunities there. And I don't think Boateng's played all that well, although Boateng can crop up with a goal here or there. So it's a difficult one. I think Curtis will obviously pick himself now on that side. Amici too, and obviously Tolai and Watts is a no-brainer up front, and hopefully we can get 70-80 minutes out of Watts, and then he'll be good to go for the remainder of the season, hopefully. I would like to
I don't know if that's...
I think he'll go for Hazard.
It looks like a mugshot of Watts there in that picture on the team selection. It's so much bigger. For me, like I said, like we've got to get rules in there. I don't disagree with the Edwards situation. I think if he stays back, he's fine. He was either given some sort of brief to be allowed to get forward, but it just proved too costly in the end. So I'd still like to see Finn start a game, and I think with the excitement of Curtis and Watts and Tolai and all that lot linking up with Rules and Wiredu equally in there, I think we could really cause some problems because Finn will take on players and do that far better than. I
totally agree. I would love to see Finn start, but I'm just going with what I think.
100%. Yeah. I think Amici. My sort of heart would like to see Finn there, but I think my head says it will be Amici that will start. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, bear with me a second, because this lineup isn't Gavin's and I've got to download it. So Gavin, do you want to just start off while I just quickly download it from WhatsApp so I can put it on for you?
It's not a million miles from Carl, actually. I didn't read it. Just one change. I've got Hammond in goal.
And Finn.
Finn play on the left
side. Look in WhatsApp.
I don't know. Let me just see if that's I'm just opening. I'm downloading it because we went live before I got it. There we go.
There we go.
You got it?
Yeah.
So Ashby Hammond and the rest is I mean you got Watts and Tolai on the other side to Carl. I mean that's it. But yeah, so your reason for sticking Ashby Hammond in then, just talk us through that.
The distribution difference was amazing on Tuesday night. There was one instance where I don't know if you can remember it, but Hammond became prime Pele in his pomp. Ball came down on the right hand side, and he lobs it over the player, regains it, and everyone's going, just kick it out. And he puts his foot on it and then spreads it up the pitch to Curtis with a spot chance. And then we went on the counter straight away. And I was like,
yeah, I remember that.
All of his distribution was miles better.
Which is the biggest thing we've said about him, isn't it?
But he pulled off 2 to 3 good, well, 1 good save, 2 decent saves. He come out and punch a couple of times when he needed to and got good distance. When we were sat watching him, his communication with Rowles and Mitchell was very good. And I think that he deserves a run in the team, because we just look, when you've got that level of ball player there in that top 4, Amici, Watts, Talai and Curtis, you need to get the ball up to them as quick as possible and accurately as possible, not oof it up and it's straight in the touch. And I thought he did that really well. So, you know, for me, if the back 4 does its job, which it will, we've got 4 good tall defenders there. He shouldn't have much to save, to be honest, and his distribution is miles better. So that's why I've picked him.
Obviously, Luke has made a couple of bad mistakes. There's no denying that, but I think his distribution, like we've been said, is a lot better than Hazard's. And I just think he's been let down with a lot of shit defending that's put him at risk, especially the Bristol Rovers game and some other games that he's played in, that the defending is pretty poor, which has made him look a bit guilty when it shouldn't have done. But I think he's the better keeper.
I do recall the point that in the game where Gavin says he comes right out and it makes you very, very squeaky bum, and he does deal with it, and he does pit. I remember commenting on it. He does pit then a superb ball up the pitch. So I think, and I go back to this point that I said earlier: the defense were poor, and inevitably then Hammond doesn't have the best of games, and I think that would be the same for Hazard. Whereas when the defense was solid before he was dropped for Hazard coming back, he played really well. So I think deal with the Edwards bit and just say, right, calm it down, guys, and just get yourself disciplined again. Then I think we'll see a stronger performance from him. But the distribution, and as Gavin said, with the players up like that we got now, you could see a quick counter attack unfold very, very quickly, even at somewhere like Peterborough. Andy, anything you would add to those 2 lineups anyway?
Not really. No, I sort of agree with Ashby Hammond as well. I think he's, as you say, better distributor of the ball. He's more comfortable on the ball. Not a lot of change there, really. Some good team selections there, chaps.
I'm just trying.
The only thing I struggled with was putting Watts in Amici's place and playing Pepple up top. And I that was my
not a bad shout.
That was my don't I, because he played wide left actually when he came on at Stevenage and did really well.
Pepple has improved a lot, hasn't he, actually, to be fair.
So for me, it's like, is Amici a luxury away from home when you need to be a bit more dogged? He'll certainly track back better. He'll defend better. He's more industrious. But then you think, where's he wasted wide right when he needs to be in and around that sort of play to create stuff for Tolly and blah, blah, blah. But if you're going to be pragmatic, I think that's what you do. You play Watts wide right and you play Pepple up top. If you're going to play 4-4-2, I still think 4-2-3-1 is the better option, with Talai up top, Watson behind, Amici one side, and Curtis the other, and then 2 holding midfielders of Wiradoo and Rowles. But I don't get paid to pick the team, so there we are.
Yeah, no, I mean, Andrew T's also agreeing on the Ashby Hammond needs games. He's saying there, Dino PFC saying, "No, you're having a laugh, Stevie. Needs someone with experience, if loan or not. Joe is 35 now and can't sustain 2 to 3 games a week. Otherwise, he's liable to get injured." And I think Carl, you made the point that you were surprised to sort of see him, or someone did. Sorry, he might have been in the chat. See him start on Tuesday. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, he might get picked again, and he stays resolute at the back, but he's not in Carl or Gavin's lineups. That's for sure. I get your point. CJ Hammond gifted them 2 goals. The first was odd. The second one, it was hit with some venom, even if it was at his near post. And Amici did really gift the player the chance to have a cup of tea before he then got back up and struck it in the corner. So we'll give him that. But the distribution...
I'm looking at Terry Alford's comment there. Edwards had 1 bad game and everyone writes him off. I don't think anyone's writing him off. I just think he's...
we're telling him to stay back. Yeah.
We need the experience in that.
Not writing him off, but
he's played lots of games recently.
2 games in a week.
35.
He played every game pretty much over Christmas, although he only played 60 minutes in most of them. He's not 25 anymore. He's 35 and he's about to be 36. So you can't play him every week. And we've got a very competent right back who's a natural defender in Suchu. I think will be a bit further back and away from home. That's what you need, pragmatism. So
I think we needed him in those games with that experience before we had Rolls on the side. But now we've got Rolsey on the side. I think Rolls has got that bit more experience, about him to sort of shut up shop. You know what I mean?
If you look across that team, Galloway very experienced, Mitchell very experienced.
Curtis is now
Curtis very experienced.
Yes.
Rolls very experienced. Talai very experienced. So there's some leaders out on the pitch. It's not as if like a few weeks ago we only had one person who like shaved, and that was Joe. Everyone else was like getting the cat to lick the bum fluff off. He had like 12-year-olds playing. Now we've got some proper sound experienced players. So he's not needed, but Joe can't play every week. Simple as that. And it's a squad game for a reason.
There's no question what Edward has done for this club. He's been an absolute great servant, great captain.
No one's questioning that. It's about winning a game of football on Saturday.
But he is getting older. He is picking up more injuries, and he can't go week in, week out at all anymore. He's had some good games at home recently, but I think
I'd play him at home Tuesday night against Mansfield.
Yeah, but he just needs to be rested. We need to look after him a bit more if you want to get another season out of him, which I think might be a push to go again next season with him. But I think his legs are starting to go, which is natural. It's not to say he's a bad player overnight. He does struggle in parts of games now.
Correct.
Yeah. Just actually, that's a good point. Ben's just reminded me. I'm just going to try and bring it up very quickly. So he's asking me about the tribute that happened, and I did. Nick from Peter, he was in earlier. Actually, I don't know if he's still in, but yeah, basically, can't find his message because he did it to me on another chat platform. But effectively, Nick wanted me to point out and correct me later, Nick, if need be. But obviously, the donations that went towards to get the great big flag, etc., for that. Obviously, his game wasn't because of the postponement or whatever it was. Didn't happen, but Nick said that money that people donated isn't going to waste. It's going to get used for other things. So he did want me to bring that up, but there is no getting it reorganized and that with the club from what he was saying to me in the message the other day. So even to you, Ben, and thank you for bring that up. So it prompted me just to let you all know. And I'm sure we'll get Nick on again at some point. I did say that to him. It's always good to hear from him. Matt Montgomery saying, Terry, this ain't the first time he has struggled with the pace. It happens to the best. Edwards is hugely respected, yet it feels time to transition into coaching. Yeah, and I think once we get, he's a few more players back and fully fit, then there's less of a need to rely on him. Andrew T was saying tows his caravan while he's driving on ice these days. Absolute legend, but legs are gone. Argo 83 saying fell asleep. Great pod as ever, guys. Thanks. Just hope your bed's dry, Argo 83. And maybe those Speedos you were after earlier. I'll have to get busy with the merchandise over the weekend, eh?
Just don't go mobbing them alive.
Let's not forget. So someone or a team that is also doing very well, as we always like to give some feedback on, care of Gavin brings us the updates on this, but the Argyle ladies did have a cup win 3-0 against Lewes, I think it was. And they then go into their, is it the semi-final, Gav, against Burnley?
That was a quarter-final, into the semis. Home to Burnley, I think, in the final in February.
Wow.
February the 17th, I think it is.
1st of February, it is Sunday.
1st, is it? Okay.
Yeah. Tickets are now available.
Yeah, that'll be a good game. No, they should have scored about 9. Tiesa, the left winger, probably missed 3 sitters. Like, she needs to go and see a priest about how bad they were. They bounced back well from a disappointing game the week before against Watford. Full of confidence, full of goals, and they've got the mighty Marine Academy on Sunday at Fulston Park in the Devon Cup, which I'm assuming the reason they're not granting home park for a game of that magnitude is it's a Devon Cup game. So I imagine there'll be a much changed squad. But it did really well and is now concentrating on the league time.
Andrew T telling me off. It's pronounced Lewis. That's fine. I stand corrected. So seeing as I did take the mickey out of you with Pepper on Tuesday night. But yeah, so the tickets are available. Like I said, it is for that February the 1st. I was checking the Argyle site Facebook page before I came on. And please follow the women's accounts. Sorry?
So it'd be nice to get a couple of thousand in for that game. I think the Watford game, it was about 1,600, and it made a massive difference. So
yeah, it helped. And you know, sort of Marie Hurahan did say she wanted that reaction in that game from the Watford one, and she said from minute one, with and without the ball, we were excellent. So so right. Time to sort of wrap up. I'm just checking what else I might have missed, and looking at my notes, nothing. Yeah, look, I mean, guys, of course, those of you that are on, please give us a like, follow, subscribe, and do all that jazz. On Saturday, we are obviously away to Peterborough. I'll be doing a watch along again for that. So look forward to that. I wonder if we'll get as many goals. But if you aren't going to the game, then join me for that one. Harvey is back on the road, as he told us on Tuesday night. So he's looking forward to that one. Appreciate the comments. Michael Hawke saying, great pod, guys. Hope Argyle do well Saturday. Who have you got, Mike, by the way? Just let us know. Mike, would or could you invite Marie Hurahan onto the Block 9 pod for her insight to everything for the ladies? Yeah, we're trying to do the odd thing where we can with seeing if we can get someone on from the Argyle ladies team. We're a player. We're more than welcome at any of them on. We would like to sort of see if we can get something where we can get like a monthly update or whatever on the team. So we want to open it out. So if anybody can engage and help with that, or that's listening, please do. And then just get in touch with us on one of the social platforms.
John Dawes, get in contact with us, mate.
Yes, yeah. You can badger him at the next game then, Andy, if he's there.
Say hello to him again.
So, but yeah, because look, we want to talk everything Argyle, all things Argyle, hence the slogan. But so yeah, Leyton Orient away is what Reading have. So let's see if they can what they do, who they are playing, excuse me, on the Saturday. Let's see if they can maintain that record. Yeah, other than that, final thoughts from you, Andy, please.
Yeah, looking forward to the weekend. It's going to be a tough game, I think, Peterborough, because I know Peterborough are sort of just above us in the form table as well, aren't they? Which is pretty impressive. I think they've won quite a few games like we have. So it's going to be a tight game, but I think, a 2-1 win is going to be the outcome.
Yeah, we are 11th. Sorry for the pause. We are 11th in the last 5 games, just as all FOTMob gives me. Peterborough 6 in that form table. And what was your score prediction as well, Andy? Sorry?
2-1 to Argyle.
Yeah. Carl?
Yeah, I went for a 2-1 win. I think it's going to be a very, very difficult game. I think Peterborough's form has really improved since Williams has gone in. Yeah. And I think, it could be a few goals in this one. I reckon Peterborough, we seem to score a lot. We seem to be creating a lot more. So, yeah, I think there's going to be goals in this one, and I just hope we can keep the away form going. And I'm going for a 2-1 win, but I wouldn't be disappointed with a draw.
No, that's fair. And home to Hunters, as you put in the chat there, in terms of the Tammert and Foliot boys on Saturdays. So that will be. Wonder if it will be as cold as the last game, Carl.
It won't be as cold as the last one. That was absolutely freezing. The pitch was frozen, but it did thaw out by the end of the game. But yeah, there's a lot of goals in that one as well. So.
Gavin, what are you as Argyle 83 drops in with a 5-5 draw, and Michael Hawkes reckons Argyle will 3-2 to Argyle. So what are you thinking then, Gavin?
So Peterborough have conceded quite a lot of goals even when they win, and I think was it Lincoln that beat them 5-2?
5-2, yeah.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so I'll just say they beat Bolton 3-1 the last game. Yeah. Lincoln 5-2, which they lost. Rotherham before that, it was a 2-0 win to them. Drew 1-0 with Reading, and then the 1-0 win to Leyton Orient. That's their last 5 results.
Okay. So having said all that, I think we'll draw 1 each. And I think there'll be, I think it'll be quite stagnant. I think we'll look to try and be hard to beat. I don't think we're going to go there with much conviction. 4-4-2, 1-1, and I'd say Tolly scores and keeps his run going.
Yeah, so it's good. I've gone with, I think, Carl, it's 3-2, wasn't it? I said to you in the...
No, you said 3-0 actually.
Oh no, I meant 3-2. I think there could be. I mean, Argo 83 could be more spot on. Why do I think there might be a lot of goals? Because of Peterborough's form, and our defence isn't always robust. But I think it excites me with Curtis what we could do on the attack. Certainly, I think if Hammond, but probably Head says he won't, is in goal, and I think they will come at us and they will open us up, and we've now got a threat on that counter. So I think it could be one of those where there's a lot of goals, or it is a edgy 0-0 or 1-0 sort of draw. But yeah, I'm going 3-2. What's caught your eye, Carl?
Locks 9.
1-1, then Cleverley gets sent off and we win 3-1. Andrew T saying they conceded loads but kept a clean sheet against us. Matt Montgomery, remember we lost to the Posh 5-3, wasn't it, under Shuey? And
that was dreadful that night. Dreadful.
They always score 5 at home, but yeah, I think it'll be a good game to watch, and let's see if we can maintain that away form. So Carl, Andy, Gavin, thanks for that, and everybody, look, we'll see you. Well, I'll see you on Saturday if you join us in here. Let's hope for a win. We will all see you. I'm guessing everybody's free for the evening pod.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll see you as well for the post-match analysis on there too. Apologies again if those of you in that did sit in the lobby for half an hour last night. That was my bad. Just want to apologise for that. But other than that, folks, enjoy the rest of your day. I have a nice couple of days off, so Friday and Monday, a long weekend. But yeah, we shall look forward to Saturday and see if we can get 3 points. Have a good evening.
Night, everyone.